Hey guys, and welcome to Star Wars Celebration. And the Take 3 show today is going to be bringing you our reactions and thoughts and everything this wonderful weekend of Star Wars Celebration. I am not Chris Doman. He is out sick and working today, unfortunately. But I am Jacob London, and I am joined today here with Kees Cornelius. How you going, mate?
I'm doing very well. I'm very excited for this weekend. Can't wait to see everything unfold, all the news stories coming out. This is going to be a good weekend.
Oh, yes, it absolutely is. And we're also joined by a very special guest, a mate of mine, Daniel Coulson. How you going, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Pretty excited to see what this weekend's going to hold for us. So, very excited to get this started.
All right. So, as some of you may know, today is the start of Star Wars Celebration. And today we are starting with the 40th anniversary panel. It will be kicking off live right here on YouTube in 1 hour's time. And so we're going to spend the first 10 minutes of today's show before the panel just talking what are our expectations, guys. So, Case, what is the biggest thing you want to take out of this 40th anniversary panel that is coming today?
I just want to see George Lucas, first of all. I want to see some of the old actors, writers, directors just come on and talk a little bit about the history of Star Wars, because it's been 40 years. It's a long time. A lot of things they can talk about. I'm hopeful for some news, like some special announcement that there may be a new movie or a new TV show coming up, but I'm not really expecting anything. It's like, if they don't announce anything, I won't be disappointed because I'm not expecting it. However, if they would announce something, that would be nice. I hope it's not an Obi-Wan movie, though. That's... Yeah, I'm probably the only person in the world who doesn't want an Obi-Wan movie.
No, mate,
But yeah,
no.
okay, that's what I think about that.
Yeah, I think you are the only one in the world. There might, oh no, John Campion might be in your group as well. I know he doesn't like prequels at all. Now, Daniel, what are your biggest takeaways that you're hoping to get out of this 40th anniversary panel?
I guess just to find out a little bit more. As you said, as Kay says, it's been 40 years, Star Wars. So I'd love to know a bit more from about producers and writers, how they got into it and what they've been doing the entire time for over 40 years. Are they still involved with Star Wars? Obviously, hopefully the new trailer drops for The Last Jedi, which is a big, I really hope it's going to be good. And it's a big takeaway for me, being a Star Wars fan, and just honestly just celebrating 40s of Star Wars and how we all got into it.
That is very true. Now, it is unlikely that the trailer will drop today. We are most likely expecting that it will drop this time tomorrow during the Last Jedi panel. But let's just, Case, talk about who is turning up on this thing. So,
a lot of people, actually.
So
I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got Hayden Christensen turning up, Dave Filoni, Kathleen Kennedy, Mark Hamill, Ian McDermott, Anthony Daniels, Peter Mayhew, Billy D. Williams, a massive amount of guests. Any surprise guests that you're thinking might turn up?
Might turn up. That's a great question. Harrison Ford would be awesome. George Lucas, as I said, like some of the guys who were involved in the very first Star Wars that have not been announced but are big names. Like, I just want this is the 40th anniversary. You need people from every single movie, every single generation there, because like we have the new people with from some from the Force Awakens. We have Dave Filoni there as well. He's pretty new. But you want some people from the prequels. You want some people from the original trilogy, just to talk about the 40 years of Star Wars and how it has changed over the years. Because if you look back at 1977, how it started, it was just a mess of production, and nobody even knew that it was going to come out. And then when it came out, it blew up. It was the first blockbuster. Then it spawned this franchise that we have now. But even back in the 80s, we had 3 movies. Then they started making books and comics and games and whatnot. They started making a lot of merchandise for it. Then you had the prequels. Very arguable time for Star Wars. I mean, some people like the prequels. I don't, and there are a lot of people who join me in not liking the prequels that much. But still, for the people who do like the prequels, it's still an era of Star Wars that we lived in and that exists, and I accept them as canon. And now we're in a new era where I mean, Star Wars right now is bigger than ever. It's really weird how it has changed, but I love it. I just love how it has changed over time. The state that Star Wars is in now is a very good state. It's very healthy. Yeah, I just want to hear everyone's thoughts on how it has changed over time, what they think about it, because I have my thoughts. I don't know everything. I wasn't alive for a big part of the 40 years, actually. So I just want to hear what everyone has to say about it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to a lot of the stories. I think that's going to be the big special thing to take away from this. As you alluded to earlier today, I don't think we're going to get a lot of movie news or announcements. I mean, I'm hoping for a announcement of post episode 9. So what's coming out in 2020, 2021, 2022,
Yeah.
but I have a feeling that might be saved for D23. That could be saved for later. Who really knows? But Daniel, what is your biggest takeaway from what are you expecting the most out of the future of Star Wars?
I guess the biggest thing I'm expecting is creating a new generation of fans for Star Wars. So, as Kees said, back in 1977 all through 1980s, you had the original trilogy. Then myself and you, Jake, obviously growing up, we had the prequels, and now we're bringing a new tide with The Force Awakens. Last bringing a whole new generation, and hopefully, since this is now been 40 years, that it keeps going and that kids in the future understand why we love Star Wars, and they don't just sit back and just watch a new one. So they want to go back and know where it all started and, build on it from there. So that way it just keeps building and going. And different generations can experience what Star Wars has done for all of us, because I'm pretty sure we've all got ideas and stories about how we all got into Star Wars. So definitely be interesting to see.
Very much so. All right. So the way this is going to work for the next hour is we're going to bring in a few guests. We've got a few people lined up to talk, and then once the panel starts, we're just going to have a break and stop. We'll stop the show. We'll all watch the panel separately or together, or just for that we'll watch the panel, and then we'll come back afterwards and we will talk about what do we think of the panel. Depending on what is said at the panel, we will be talking for 5 minutes, or we could be talking for an hour. So,
knowing myself, we'll be talking for an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, it really is going to come down to what is this panel about? Because out of all of the panels that are coming in today and this weekend, this is the one that raises probably the most question marks about what are they actually going to show. Like, we've been given, hey, they're going to talk about, they're just going to be there. That's what we've been told. So,
well,
are they going to talk?
It's unlike last year. Last year they had like a future filmmakers panel where you would expect them to talk about the movies coming up, and in the end, they didn't really deliver on that. In this case, they just said 40th anniversary panel. So that means anything that has to do with the 40th anniversary. They didn't promise us anything. So as I said, I'm not expecting any announcements. It would be nice to have an announcement, but they didn't announce anything that, oh, we're going to have a big announcement or anything. So at least I don't think they mismarketed this panel, unlike last year with some. So I just want to see what they have to offer us. That's I think it's going to be cool.
All right, fantastic. Now we are bringing in our first guest today. His name is Aaron. Can't pronounce his last name. Aaron, how you going, mate?
Hey there, Aaron. Hello,
Aaron. Have we got you? Welcome to the wonders of the internet.
Hello. Do you have video?
I should.
Oh boy, you should.
Oh.
Wait. No.
Live broadcasting, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is live. This is nothing you can fix. So just accept it.
It happens.
My mic's not on you, right?
We can hear you.
We can hear you. We can just not see you. That's the only thing.
Okay. All
Mm.
right. Here we go. I think I got it.
Yeah. Still not seeing it.
There it is. All right.
Hmm.
You
All right.
guys see me again?
Here we go.
Hey, there we have him. Fine.
There you go, mate.
You're losing me again?
Hello.
No,
Is it
I
working?
got it.
'Cause
I've still got. I can still.
The connection is pretty poor. That's the
Yeah.
issue. Is there anything you can do to fix that, Aaron?
Let me see. I can try.
Oh, hang on. That seems to have gone a little better. Aaron, do you want to tell us what are you excited for about with this first panel at Celebration today?
The 40th anniversary panel. I think it's with this panel. I just want to see them, as many people that have been involved with Star Wars in on this table as possible, because if you don't have people there to talk and celebrate Star Wars, there's no point in having a 40th anniversary panel, you know. But the big thing I want to see is, I hope at some point Harrison Ford does show up, because when you go back to 1977, the anniversary we're celebrating, you know, you have your main three. You have Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher. Mark Hamill, we know, is at the panel is already confirmed, so we know he'll probably show up at the panel. And Carrie Fisher is no longer with us, so we know she won't be there. So the hope is that Harrison Ford does go, so we can have the main three there with us. It will still probably end up being a fun panel, because I think, you know, especially after Celebration last year, a lot of people, not necessarily those who were there, but a lot of people who weren't there were disappointed that there wasn't anything for them to enjoy. There wasn't a lot of news. I think they're going to try and put their all into this panel, because, well, it's going to be another 10 years before they get a chance to do something big like this. So, you know, all, and I think it'll end up being good.
That is very true.
Especially if you consider that last year the biggest news to come out of Celebration was Rebels with the reintroduction of Thrawn. And like, it is a big thing that you reintroduce Thrawn into canon, but come on, like, Rogue One was not the biggest thing talked about. Episode 8 or Han Solo was not the biggest thing talked about. The biggest thing was Rebels.
Yeah, it's pretty funny when you think that that last year, the biggest movie news to come out was something that we had all known for about 3 months, and that was that Han Solo had been cast. So, and we all knew that for about 2 months
that was
before
an announcement.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They made it out to be an announcement, but in the end, it just was not, because we all knew it already. So.
Okay, so now I'm going to be very disappointed if they don't walk Donald Glover out and say Lando Calrissian.
That would be good. One thing I actually do think we should be talking about, and you did mention it, Aaron. Sadly, one of the trio is no longer with us. We do know there's going to be the tribute to the late, great Carrie Fisher by Mark Hamill later tomorrow night. Do you believe that this 40th anniversary, how much of a presence is Carrie Fisher going to have on this 40th anniversary special? Aaron, I'll start with you.
She's going to have some form of a presence. I mean, again, it's like I said, the original lead 3 actors, she is one of them. It's hard to go hour and a half or something. Isn't the panel like it's a long panel? It's hard to go that long without mentioning her at least once. But I don't know how much of a presence she'll have, especially since because they do have the tribute panel tomorrow, and that is going to be focused solely on her. If they're going to talk about anything, they may want to see just to garner some interest already. But they're going to bring her up at some point, and they are going to talk about her a decent amount because if we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of a film, it's hard not to talk about one of your leads in that movie.
That is very true.
Yeah.
So, Case, what are your thoughts on what they're going to do with Carrie Fisher?
Aaron basically stole the points that I was going to make. I don't think they'll mention her as much as Aaron said. I think they'll mention her quickly and then move on because they have so many people lined up, and they have the panel tomorrow, which already is going to be a tribute to her. I think they'll say a quick thing, like spend max 1 minute on it, and then be done with that. Because it's an hour, and you need to do a lot in an hour with everyone there present. And if you're going to focus on Carrie Fisher for too long, if you already have another panel tomorrow, then I don't think they'll stick that long on her, especially because I don't want to cry my elbows out today yet. I'm going to cry my elbows out tomorrow. I know that tomorrow for an hour long I will be weeping and crying and just feeling terrible because it killed me when I heard the news a few months ago, and it still kills me every time I think of it. And I want this 40th anniversary panel to be fun, and I don't want to cry yet. If I do cry, though, I want to cry with joy, not of sadness. So that's what I think about this panel.
I think very much tomorrow is going to be the crying day with the Last Jedi trailer. We'll be all crying in joy, and then with Carrie Fisher's memorial, we'll all be very, very sad. Daniel, coming to you, what do you think is going to be one of the more standouts of what is the big ticket thing we are talking about when we walk out of this panel tonight?
I guess the biggest thing to talk about would be, depending on how they do the panel, then could be them telling how Star Wars influenced their lives through the 40 years and find out different bits and pieces. I think both Aaron and Case said it right with the whole Carrie Fisher thing. Not going to get much of a mention, but if they're telling stories of how Star Wars played an impact in their life, I think Carrie will be mentioned in that. I think that'll be the biggest thing. It's just that how much will they mention her, with obviously the tribute panel being tomorrow. But not only just that, but just how her presence still affects them when they think about the time through Star Wars over the past 40 years. So I think stories that they tell and who they're going to bring up to the panel, who's actually be on the panel, is the biggest takeaway. Is it just going to be actors, or are they going to bring back writers, directors, and how they all, I guess, interact and influence each other throughout the 40 years?
This is very true. Sorry, Aaron?
I was going to say, I don't know if they ever did one, or if I just missed it. Did they ever give out a roster of who's going to be there, or is it just kind of they're going to surprise us as they go along?
They've given out a small roster, but they haven't. They have also hinted there are surprises.
Yeah.
They've given a couple people that will be there from the start, and then it's assumed more will show up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's quite a list already, so I wonder how many will be added to that already packed list. But we'll see.
Yeah, a bet of how many people can actually show up. See who gets the closest.
All right, Aaron, we'll leave you there, mate. Thank you so much for joining on this. We'll talk to you after the panel, hopefully, and we'll see how you go. Where can the people find you online, mate?
You guys can find me on. I have Instagram. It's Aaron. It's just a personal Instagram. It's nothing crazy. And then I haven't posted a video yet, but I'm also starting a YouTube movie review channel. It's CTA movie reviews or CTA reviews. I don't remember off the top of my head. I haven't posted a video yet on it, but going up will be this weekend for the Fate of the Furious. So, appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, guys. It's been fun.
Thanks, Aaron.
Good luck with your YouTube channel. I know how hectic it can be sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, fun. Thank you.
All right. And we've got our next special guest today. He is Gregory Phillip. Gregory, how you going, mate?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
And so we've just been talking about what we're expecting from this panel. What's your, just real quick, what's your biggest thing that you are looking forward to with the panel?
I mean, probably the same thing everyone else is, the big movie, big trailer guy. So, I mean, I really want to see the Last Jedi trailer. I think that's probably tops for most people on here.
So
Today?
we're talking just the 40th anniversary the 40th anniversary panel. What's your biggest what are you looking forward to the most out of that panel?
Really, I think when you get panels together, especially I watch a lot of TV panels, it's really everyone getting together and sharing, their experiences, sharing their, getting the camaraderie. Because the only time you really see these people together is in the movies. But getting everyone together and having them actually, share what Star Wars is and what their experiences with the movies or whatever they have, whatever they're going to be, whatever they do with the actual Star Wars universe. Seeing that is really amazing. If you ever watch the TV panels, it's great.
Yeah, very much agree. So, Greg, we got you on here. Just, do you want to tell us a little bit about how did you get into Star Wars? What about Star Wars made you fall in love with it?
Yeah, no problem. And for me, and I talked about it before. I'm a fan of Star Wars, but compared to probably the most people on here, I would probably be on the bottom totem pole of the enthusiasm for it. I've definitely seen all the movies. I've seen I saw the original prequel. I've seen that probably the most times. I was able to catch all the movies, all of them in theaters when they did the whole re-release for the prequels, which is really cool. Really, my big foray into the Star Wars universe came with KOTOR.
Yes.
Yeah, me and Casey talk about this because KOTOR is just amazing.
It's the best Star Wars game.
If you're friends with me on Facebook, I just posted an article saying that it's been going on for years. They're always talking about bringing back KOTOR series, but every time I basically have a Google Yahoo alerts for any KOTOR update. So if they ever release a KOTOR game, I'll be one of the first to know because I'm signed up for everything. That actually. The only Star Wars comics I ever read was the Dark Horse Comics Knights of the Old Republic that came out after the RPGs came out. I haven't read any other books. I haven't read any other comics, but it said KOTOR on there, and I just started reading it because I was so into the BioWare game, and even the Knight sequel that came out, which a lot of people didn't like. I like the sequel. That might just be because of my RPG fascination. I'm a huge RPG person.
I'm not ashamed to admit that it took me a little while to figure out what KOTOR meant. I'm sitting there going, what is KOTOR? What?
I agree with that.
Yeah. I figured it out before you said it, though. So, yeah, I wasn't that slow. Okay. Case, give us your introduction to Star Wars.
My introduction to Star Wars was a little bit later than most people. Most people get introduced when they're very young. I got introduced about 12 years ago. my mom showed me the Indiana Jones movies. Really liked those movies. Then I looked at DVDs, the special editions, and in the not special editions, the special features on the DVDs said a lot of things about Star Wars, a lot of tie-ins, because of course Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Harrison Ford had a lot to do with Star Wars. So I went to see the Star Wars movies. I first saw Empire Strikes Back. That is my first memory of a Star Wars movie that I saw. I remember really liking that. I watched all of the movies in I don't know which order. It was all around. It wasn't like first the prequels, then the originals, or first the originals, then the prequels. It was just everything around each other. And at one point, I had seen all the movies. I knew that I loved. Well, back then I loved all of them because I didn't really think that critical of movies. So I just liked all the prequels as well. Then over time, I continue watching them a lot because I like to rewatch movies over and over and over, especially the ones that I do really like. And then over time, I suddenly started to realize that I didn't like the prequels all that much. The originals were still amazing. Yeah, and that's where we are right now. I don't like the prequels. I love the originals, even though I once used to like them. So that's it.
The action and
from
visuals
that-
get you as a kid.
From there,
What?
the crush on Hera was born.
Oh yeah, that's actually not that old. That's just a few months old.
Oh dear God! All right, Daniel. All right, where did it all start, mate?
I guess for me, the love of Star Wars started from my dad. Obviously, growing up in the 70s and 80s, he was introduced to Star Wars. And then from a young age, I remember watching first ever Star Wars, which was A New Hope. And obviously, just as the trilogy was already done, growing up, just rewatching them, getting the Lego. Like Lego really got me interested in Star Wars.
Nice.
So, you know, you gotta play with something when you're a kid, and why not build some Lego with your dad? You know,
I still have Legos. No
yeah,
shame.
so do I. So do I. No, it's like a whole little cupboard just full of all the Star Wars Lego I've still got. But yeah, I guess it really started for me for there, and then obviously as movies go on and on and on into the prequels, obviously the CGI and special effects gets people interested and entertained. What are they going to do next? How can they do this massive? You know, they used to do pinholes and black sheep, the stars in the original one. Now the bloody planets blowing up and everything else in the prequels, and then obviously so on keeps going and going. I think Star Wars, you can just relate to it in every way, just in life. I guess that's what I love, both original and new trilogy, and the new ones that are coming out now. So don't really hate any, which is pretty good. But yeah,
That is very true. I guess my love affair with Star Wars began when I was about 6, and that was when The Phantom Menace came out. So one of my earliest memories of going to the movies was my dad sneakily taking me and my cousin and my uncle to see Phantom Menace, but it was at about 7 o'clock at night. Now, for a 6-year-old, that's late. And I had a 4-year-old sister who was not allowed to go because it was so late. And so she was very mad. And that's one thing that I can remember, and I think that's wise, because I kept getting told, do not tell your sister that you saw this movie. So I think that's one thing that's always stuck in my head. Daniel will know this, but where we used to have a really terrible Cadbury ad. Cadbury chocolate play when we were younger, where it was this wouldn't it be nice if the world was Cadbury chocolate song playing.
God, no.
And
don't sing it, don't hum it, don't anything with that ad, please.
Now that, and the reason I bring that up is because Star Wars, the Star Wars trilogy, they were playing on one of our network channels, and that was who sponsored it. Was Cadbury was the reason it was being played. They were sponsoring them, and I that was from memory is the first time I can remember watching Star Wars. I don't really have that big of a attachment as a childhood to Star Wars. It was more when I was older and I've rewatched these movies and I've fallen back in love with them older. So sadly, spoiler alert for a 30-year-old movie, Darth Vader is Luke's father. That was...
Wait,
what? The thing for me.
God!
Do that.
So,
Are you kidding me? I haven't got to that yet.
That was, to me, that's never had that big of an impact simply because I knew it before I can remember, if that makes any sense. So,
Killing me.
Yeah, in a way, it does make sense.
yeah, but look, that's Star Wars to me. I've been in love with it. Force Awakens to me was such a rebirth of the series. In in 2012, I had pretty much given up on Star Wars. Not as in Star Wars ever being good again because of the god awful writing Solo video that came out with Connect. If anyone can remember the Star Wars Connect on Xbox.
Atrocious. Atrocious.
Yeah. So
Let's not talk about that.
that video, I gave up on Star Wars at that point. Star Wars was dead, and hey, J.J. Abrams did it twice. He brought two sci-fi series that were dead back to life.
Yeah.
So
Yep, can agree with that.
good on him. All right. So we're gonna have.
Don't worry,
Manny-
man. I got Star Wars. The Darth Vader's father. Darth Vader's Luke's father got it spoiled for me by The Simpsons.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't be a homo.
I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what it meant at all because I was like 5 when I saw the show, and then a couple years later I saw the movie, and I was like, "That's what the hell they were talking about."
Yeah, I still remember. I still find this hilarious. Is that when Force Awakens came out, Mark Hamill put up a tweet saying, "Don't be a homer and spoil it while walking out of the cinema." I thought that was just, oh my god, that was so perfect. It is true. He actually put that tweet up. It was, but yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. Case, you had something you wanted to bring up.
Did I? I don't know.
What
did I? Wait, aren't we supposed to have a next guest?
Manning will be on the show in about 5 minutes.
What do I want to bring up? I mean, I could talk about Hera if we want to, but
oh dear God, yeah, sure. 5 minutes of talking about Hera. This should be interesting.
We're gonna need more than 5 minutes. Let's be honest. We're gonna need more than 5 minutes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, okay, actually, that is something that we can talk about. Now, how deep is? I know, Case, your answer, but Greg, how deep is your knowledge of the external canon?
Okay. We have to correct this. How deep is the knowledge of the expanded universe, aka Legends, aka everything that has been released before 2014, or canon, which is after 2014? What do you mean?
Sorry, I'm talking the expanded universe that is now within canon for Star Wars.
All right, so everything in the current canon. All right.
Yes. Greg, how what is your knowledge of that?
Yeah, so my knowledge pretty much goes to the theatrically released movies and video games.
Yeah, video games aren't canon.
They're
All
canon,
right.
and they're my canon.
Yeah, Disney disagrees with you there.
HK-47 will always be a god.
Sadly, not
So-
canon.
Okay, well, that is something we could talk about real quick. Is what are you hoping for out of the video game panel that we are getting? I think it's later, either today or Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Saturday.
Battlefront 2.
Another Battlefront.
I'm hoping, like I said, if first me on Facebook, I posted an article this week. Like I said, I would just lose my stuff if they announced a new KOTOR series. Because I haven't had an Xbox console in probably about 5-6 years, and I would go out and buy an Xbox One right now if they told me.
Big great reason.
Wait, so you want KOTOR to be revitalized in current canon as a game, not as a TV show or a movie series or whatnot?
I mean, if they did it as a TV and movie series, that would be great. But my experience with KOTOR is the actual playing of it. I like being immersed in the myself being immersed in the actual series, making what decisions you can make. And I love how RPGs have evolved since the original KOTOR came out, especially with BioWare's done. Like, if they can turn what they've done with Mass Effect into a Star Wars game, that would just be insane. Because if you go back and look at the original KOTOR, it's expansive, but it's like really limited compared to where RPGs are now.
Yeah,
you can get
it's a huge game though.
It is, but
if you look at what it was back in 2003, because it was released in 2003, the first one, that was a huge game for 2003, and I can still play that game today and love it. But yeah, it is a little dated right now.
It's a huge game, but if you compare it to like where Mass Effect is, or where Elder Scrolls or any all the RPGs coming out now, it's like it's definitely a fraction of what it could be, and especially with all of the Star Wars expanded universe planets, characters, storylines that you could build off of and go for. Like, and as someone who read the Star Wars comics, the KOTOR comic, it can really just go out into the ether with all of that.
Yeah. What I also think is probably the most interesting about the time period is that it is set so many years before the original trilogy. Because if you don't know, Knights of the Old Republic, KOTOR is set 4,000 years before the original trilogy. Like, it's not even close. Like it's not even like the prequels that it's like a 30 year gap. No, KOTOR is 4,000 years. That gives you the opportunity to basically do anything that you would want, as long as you, because right now they're tying it in with Rebels a little bit. They have mentions of the Old Republic and whatnot, but still, there's so much you can do, so much you can explore, so many new characters, and I think that Revan is a very interesting character that they have to explore. I would just like to see a movie or a trilogy of movies, because there's a lot you want to tell. I have also considered a TV show. I was not that big a fan of the TV show for KOTOR at first, but now Chris has convinced me a little bit more on the TV show. I just want I just want a cinematic experience, so that's why I prefer a movie, but still a TV show would be really great. And you make a good point as why a video game would work, because it was a video game to begin with. So yeah, you make a good point.
I mean, it's where you originally fell in love with it, so you want to just bring that with you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jacob, any thoughts on KOTOR?
Well, I never played it, so because I was PlayStation my entire life. I was never Xbox, but I am now Xbox, funny enough. So look, to me, the video games, I was born and bred on Star Wars Battlefront, the original, so 1 and 2. One for platforms, which was the best level ever, and then they got rid of it in 2 because they're idiots. And then the new one came out. I don't actually think I've played more than 2 minutes of it. I think I've installed it, I loaded it up, and then I didn't play it. I'm pretty sure that's actually what happened. But what's sad, and what is, this is the sad part of Star Wars. They can announce Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the weekend, which we all know. I mean, they can show the trailer. They can do it. It could be a Transformers 5 level awful trailer. I will still buy it. I will still buy it opening day, and I will still play it, and I won't return it because I am a sucker.
That's like when we watched the prequels.
Okay, so here's the thing that I love. It's what I hate and I love about Star Wars. Right now, Battlefront there's no expectations on it. I mean, there are, but we've seen how bad it can be with Battlefront 1, and we've seen how incredible it can be. So this kind of is in that Force Awakens area where if you are just good, and you're fun and passable, you will do well and you will be beloved by a lot of people. Does anyone agree with that?
Yeah. I agree with that.
It's the power of Star Wars.
Yeah,
No matter how crappy it is, people will buy it.
You can be terrible.
There'll be enough people to buy.
You could be like absolute garbage, Batman and Robin level of a movie, and people will still pay $1 billion to see it. That's the power of Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
and
there'll be enough people. Sure.
Well, we're just waiting on Manning to come in at the moment. Now, Craig, where can people find you online? Thank you so much for coming on. Let us know, where can people find you?
Yeah, Twitter is ATL Greg88. Facebook Gregory Phillip. Sometimes pinch hitting on Take 3 Productions. It's a lot of fun. If you're in Europe, make sure to try and find me on my backpacking trip.
Wait a second, I'm in Europe.
Because I'm going to be partying and seeing, so come on out. But yeah, thanks for having me on. It was a blast. I like talking about anything movies, so Star Wars is great.
That's awesome. We'll hopefully we'll get you back on after the panel, and we'll have a chat about what we saw and how good it is, and we'll hopefully get you back on tomorrow to talk about the Last Jedi trailer, which look, okay.
We can't wait for it.
I know. Okay. I have a feeling it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. I am saying this now. I am not
Jacob, shut the fuck up! We're getting a trailer!
I'm
so done with this now.
No. I think there is a 5% chance we get it tonight. I think there is a small percent chance that we get the teaser, and then tomorrow is the trailer.
Oh yeah.
I like that whole 10-second crap.
That's
not 10 seconds. Not 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm talking like the
30 seconds.
I'm talking the first Star Wars, the first teaser trailer that came out for Force Awakens, with the Millennium Falcon flying.
The 1 minute.
That's the one we get. Yeah. And then the next one is the Chewie We're Home trailer. But we are, instead of getting them 6 months apart, we get them a day apart. It's not gonna happen. It won't happen.
No. The way you pitch it, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I think there is a small chance as we go into 15 minutes before the panel starts that this will happen, but again, highly unlikely. Anyway, we will see what happens.
Seriously, I thought you were just once again reiterating the point that you have a small little stupid feeling that they are not going to show anything at all. Like,
no,
shut up about that already.
Nothing until next week. You guys get nothing. You lose.
Good day, sir.
They are showing a trailer. I just have a feeling Luke's not going to say anything.
Oh no! Yeah, no. That's actually kind of possible. That's actually something that. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. We shall see. We shall see.
Hopefully,
see. Exactly.
Where's Manny?
All right, Greg. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you later.
See ya. No. Now where's Manning? Is he on yet?
He's coming.
Okay. So
All right, guys. So let's just talk. The video is now starting soon.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, but they've got the live guy sitting out the front talking before it starts. Christian and John have already gotten their reserved seatings, the lucky bastards.
Nice.
So this weekend, we're going to have someone on the floor. We do have some more special guests who are involved a lot more with Star Wars Celebration. We've got a few people who are actually there. So we will be crossing to them, hopefully, if the internet decides to work. I do know what conventions are like on internet, and they don't like each other. So that should be interesting. But just to give you guys an overview of what this weekend will be about, we're going to be doing more reactionary stuff. We're not going to be doing live, sitting here watching panels together, just because we figured you're probably going to be watching the panels yourselves, like, you know.
We will have trailer reactions up. I believe Chris is going to do the Last Jedi trailer reaction. I don't know if he's also going to do a Rebels trailer reaction. I know that I'm going to do a Rebels and Last Jedi trailer reaction, but on my own personal YouTube channel. So look out for those videos coming up when the trailers drop. That's what I can say about that.
That is true. Yeah, we will be doing live trailer reactions. Me, Evan, Matt are all going to be in this video. The Last Jedi panel, we probably will stream live and discuss it live, just because it's The Last Jedi. So you get how, I'm so excited for this movie. December. Can you imagine? We were a month away. If this movie came out in its original release, it opened next month.
Yeah,
like
it would have. Yeah, that's true. But ever since we got the announcement that it was pushed to December, I was like, that makes perfect sense, because The Force Awakens was also released in December. It made a fuck ton of money simply because there was no one else. There was nothing else as competition, and like, December is a good month to release it. Plus, in the case of the Last Jedi, I thought that they were kind of rushing it. If you would rush it in the way that you would have The Force Awakens in December of 2015 and The Last Jedi in May of 2017, that would be 1.5 years. You would have 3 Star Wars movies. That is a little bit too much for my taste, especially when you are just coming back after a 10-year break. So I thought it was a good decision. Just give it a little bit more time. Make sure that everything is finished, that you can work on everything in the case that you have some hiccups in terms of, like, you need more shoots, you need to reshoot something because something went wrong. In this case, you have to deal with the fact that Carrie Fisher passed. Now they have a little bit more time to actually focus on that and to make sure that everything is good. And I just hope that when we get the movie in December, it's great and I'm gonna love it. So
And Daniel, what in The Last Jedi, what are you most excited for?
I guess I'm interested to see how Luke and Rey interact with each other in The Force Awakens. Obviously, where the original Jedi Temple is meant to be, and then we just see her holding his lightsaber. So I'd love to see the interaction there. I'd love to see what happened to Kylo Ren after the battle with Rey, and how him and Snoke, I guess, become more either buddy or come further away. And then just how it all sort of ties together. Is it going to be similar to The Empire Strikes Back, where it's the First Order getting, I guess, their revenge on what's just happened with the whole planet blowing up and everything like that? Or is it more going to be something completely different, where it's more the light side that comes through and prevails, which then would obviously be quite interesting of how they do the last movie. So I guess it's more the interactions between the characters and the way they build the story is what I'm looking forward to in The Last Jedi the most.
That is very true. All right, guys. We seem to be having some technical difficulties with Manning. So with the panel about to start in roughly 5 to 10 minutes, we might call it there, and we will get back to you guys straight after. Give it about 10, 15 minutes after the end of the panel. We will be back.
Yep.
So, Case, where can people find you online?
Well, I already said it a little bit ago. My YouTube channel, The Dutch Movie Guy, also on Twitter at Dutch Movie Guy, and I host Between the Zones here on Take 3, a movie news show, a little under an hour. Check it out if you haven't already, because we talk about old movie news and it's a lot of fun.
And that is very true. And unfortunately, this weekend, because of everything that is going on at the moment with Star Wars, we will not be doing the Take 3 podcast tomorrow, but it will be back with a vengeance next week. Daniel, where can people find you online, and do you have anything you want to plug?
Probably got nothing to plug, but if people want to find me online, just look for me on Facebook, Dan James, just hit me up there, and happy to discuss anything that we talk about over the weekend.
Too easy. And you guys can find me at the various social media networks at Jacob Blunden from Take 3 Productions and 4Case and Dan. I'm Jacob Blunden. Thank you, and we will see you back after the panel.